October 17th, 2019. What I wanted to talk about right now was one of the things that I have to deal with or is knowing that fine line, now that I've been alerted that my son may have possible autism and or is developing slow or has speech issues. One of the things I have to consider in every circumstance now is how much of it is him being a toddler versus how much of it is it due to the fact that he may be suffering from a developmental issue. Because, sometimes when you try to explain certain things to certain people, you get a reaction of, oh, that's every toddler. I know I said this in my previous video. Oh, that's every toddler. And I get that. And, again, I, in the moment, have to always consider, I don't even want to say I have to always consider it because my child is my child, so I deal with him as my child accordingly. But I do, when I reflect back on the situations, I'm like, well, is that just him being a toddler? Or is that because he has developmental issues? Random story. His godmother, about a month ago, bought him tickets to Sesame Street Live, Miami. The event is this Sunday. We have floor seats. And, he loves Sesame Street. And, initially I was all about taking him and, trying to see how it would work out or whatever the situation may be. And I've been stressing over the last couple of days because the closer we've been coming to the date of the event, the more I've been realizing, well, maybe my son is just not ready for an event like that. Because my son does not know or understand the concept of sitting still for an extended period of time or even beyond a minute or two unless he's consumed with playing with a toy or his tablet or something like that. And even then, my son is very hyper. He fidgets a lot. He moves around a lot. He just doesn't sit still. When we go to a restaurant, not even to sit down and eat, just to pick up food, or if I have to go get something done on my car, or I'm in a situation where I'm in a waiting room with him, I am spending more time on my feet than sitting down, or if the situation allows for me to sit down, I'm spending more time on my feet chasing him around the venue, trying to keep him out of trouble. And I know some people may say, no, you need to make him sit down. You need to make him, act accordingly. But it's just not that simple. I have taken actions to try to conform him to know how to adjust and behave in, social situations. But because he is lacking social development right now, it's just not that simple. Of course I could pop him and say, no, sit still or whatever, but that's not going to be an ordinary situation. He is going to turn into a total shit show, excuse my language, and I do better to just walk around with him, let him explore safely. And trust me, that's not my forte because I'm not going to say I'm lazy, but I'm lazy, and if there's a chair around, I'm trying to sit down. I'm not trying to stand up any longer than I have to, and that's just me being lazy. So anyway, I thought about all of this as we approach Sunday coming up. And, it's a theater type situation. It'll be dark. We'll be surrounded by people. We're in the middle of the road, kind of. Even though he likes Sesame Street, I don't know that he likes Sesame Street with 6 feet tall characters in his face. So, it's all of these situations where I'm like, this could go real wrong, real fast. Because again, my son doesn't understand the concept of sitting in a chair for any amount of time, if you want to know the truth. And he would spend more time either trying to explore the entire theater, because whenever we go somewhere, he wants to understand every inch of the building, or he would be, I am assuming, he probably wouldn't feel comfortable surrounded by people, in a dark room, loud. Let me intervene. My son doesn't really have issue with loud noises, unless if he's being stimulated by something else, it doesn't bother him. But if that's the main course of events that's going on at the moment, he can't deal with loud noises. And sometimes, he watches Sesame Street and he loves it. And sometimes he watches Sesame Street and it's like, you better turn the channel because he's about to have a meltdown. So I decided that Sunday is just not going to work for us, because now the venue is about an hour away anyway. And that on top of driving for an hour and then getting down there and him being out of his element, that's just, it just seems like a recipe for disaster right now. So maybe next year. So I reached out to his godmother, which is also my best friend, and I explained to her, I asked her not to be too upset about it. She wasn't. I don't even know why I was even tripping about that, because she totally understands what I'm saying. So, now this weekend we'll probably just chill or whatever. He needs to get a haircut. I'll make a video about that separate. He's had 5 haircuts so far, and I thought he was getting better until our last one, and woo, but that's another subject. So anyway, I said all that to say, I know that maybe your averagely developed, I don't know if that's what you want to call it, toddler would have the same situation. So it's that balance of, am I scared that he's going to act like a toddler, or am I scared he's going to act like a toddler with autism? And scared is not the perfect word. But these are the things that I go through, on a regular basis now that I've been alerted to possible developmental issues. So I just wanted to share that.